Ich war kein Thief, football class, we're here to light the fire. Spin facts and stats, you know we never tire. Bringing the heat up, have action, won't retire. Busting through the mic, our voices never expire. We ignite the spirit, never fading out. Light the torch, USC fans rise up high. On this podcast, we aim for the sky. Knowledge and entertainment never lie. Together we stand, let the truth amplify.
What's up, Trojan family? We are here with an emergency episode of the Light Torch podcast. Of course, our guy Blackie Chan would not be joining us, or he may be joining us a little later because it's an emergency podcast. You know, he had other obligations, but we got some breaking news. I'm sure you heard already. If not, let us break it to you. But four-star quarterback Jonas Williams has flipped his commitment from the Oregon Ducks, I almost called them the Cucks, but I'm keeping PG, the Oregon Ducks to the good guys, man, the USC Trojans, which to me makes all the sense in the world because who have they developed, especially in comparison to us and Lincoln Riley. So, Guns, I'll let you get more into it and break it down since this is your field. So go ahead, Guns. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, guys, like he said, Jonas Williams flipped from Oregon to USC, is from Frankfort Heights, Illinois. He's been a Duck commit since August. He says, Trojan Nation, let's turn up. 6'3", 215. When you see the tape, to me, it's very, very similar to Caleb Williams. Could be just the last name, maybe not. But the kid can run. Kid has great anticipation in his throws. Very accurate, and he's got some power behind that arm as well. So, just quick little stats. We're trying to get on his junior season information, but we couldn't find that. But he started as a varsity starter when he was a freshman. Almost 3,000 yards, about 2,700 yards was the exact number. He had 37 touchdowns. I'm assuming that's a combined number with passing and rushing, would be my guess. But if it's purely passing, that's wow. And then he did throw for over 3,000 yards sophomore year while dealing with injuries, according to 247. And then he had 33 touchdowns that season. And then he transferred to his new school, which is Lincoln Way East, where he's at currently right now. So this is the big time get. I think this puts us at number 2 for 247. If you look at their rankings, and we're only about 3.85 points away from that number 1 spot. So I mean we're looking really good. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it sounds like this could be a big weekend. We'll probably talk more about that later on, but sounds like this might not be the only commit. So the front office, hey, they're going big, swinging big, and they're hitting the home runs right now.
Absolutely. We will tap in with some sources and see what's coming next if we can get any information. But sounds like it's going to be a huge weekend this weekend. So just expect more news to come of this nature, man. So, Ro, you want to give us your feelings about the committee?
Well, it's always great to flip somebody from Oregon since they always want to claim that they win the offseason national championship. So that's how I feel about it too, right? So it's always good to take away a quarterback. I don't know if he was already – don't know the reasoning behind, if Oregon moved on from him or if they started moving on towards another player because they already knew what was coming. But, yeah, it's great to see a lot of comparisons, right, that he's getting with for like Caleb, like similarities in terms of like his playing style. So he has a last name. So it seems like it's a great pickup for us. So excited to see what the future holds for him. Like seems like our QB position spot it's going to be in great hands for the foreseeable future. With that being said, Guns, I do have a question. What does that mean regarding? I'm sure a lot of people might have questions like Williams coming. What does that mean for Lions?
Yeah, from what we're hearing as of now, we're still in the running. From what Loy said the other day is that we're still going to be hard to beat. BYU is going to be in the mix. Oregon's going to be in the mix. There's a couple of schools like Arizona, I think, was mentioned. But I would say those are probably the top three: us, Oregon, and BYU. I think Ole Miss as well, but you never know with that one. But yeah, I mean, I think if he truly kind of takes a step back and understands the situation that he's in, right, he's going to be taking the mission. He won't be on campus until 2027. Um, I don't see it being an issue for him. And from our standpoint for the programming, it fits perfect, right? He's on Longstreet, Jonas, and then Lyons. So that's pretty
Right.
talented QB room.
Yep. Which is exactly what you expect for us, especially under Lincoln Riley, man. Back to Jonas Williams, man. The dude is definitely a scheme fit. To say the least. Everybody's giving him the Caleb Williams comparison for the very reason. But if you watch him, man, his releases are very similar to Caleb's. I mentioned that in the group chat. But the ball just jumps off his hand, man. I like Caleb's did. So I expect his stock to be, or his rating to be up before the end of next season. But that goes as well. He is committed to USC, so that can go either way. I'll just put it to you that way. But if you look at the numbers and you look at the film, you'd say that's a 5-star for sure. But that's my opinion of it.
Hey, and Rivals has us as the number one ranking.
As number one.
As number one. So I just looked at a tweet says that with that commitment, USC moved to the number one recruiting class so far.
Okay.
It's early, but
yeah, I was not going to get too excited, but the way we're going, man, it looks like we're gonna hold on, especially with upcoming commitments even this weekend from what we're hearing. So everything's looking good.
And shout out Brandon Lockhart. I'm gonna give you credit too. I know you've been recruiting hard, so shout out to my guy Brandon Lockhart for that.
Speaking
Absolutely.
of, if you have not seen our interview that we just did with him this past Wednesday, make sure you go check that out, man. We're putting together some good stuff over here, man. So you guys are sleeping on us. So make sure you check that out. Share it with all you boys, man. Also, another gem that went under the radar, man. Dr. Marion Jackson, that interview, man, had so many gems that you guys would enjoy, man, that really goes into recruitment, really get to know some of these players, man. That's why we do these interviews. Who better than tell you about these players than the people who know these players better than the players know the players, man, their parents. So make sure you guys go check that out, man. It was a good one. So that being said, man, we got anything else? Any other news and notes?
I was gonna say there was like a quote. It said something about I was looking at it just now. Like there was a quote from Jonas Williams on why he. Oh, here it is. It says there's two. I think I saw one of them said my favorite things that excite me are the relationships I built with Coach Riley, Luke Huard, and the GM Chad Bowden. Williams said that was an important factor for me in knowing that this offense will fit my playing style is reassuring.
Exactly. So you see the kid has his head on straight, man. Whoever's advising him to this commitment, is doing a good job. Because I appreciate that more than anything, man. It's cool. You can get wild about all the other stuff, all the all the flash, all the jewelry, all the clothes. That's all great. But are you a fit in that program? That's the main thing. How do you fit? All right, that should be number one in making a decision for yourself. I think we got Blackie Chan trying to pop his head in here. Let's see who's talking about it. BC, talk to us, man. We making moves.
What's up?
I had to get an extra pump in because of being so pumped for this flip commitment. So
Nice.
I had to hit 290s. I was so hyped. I'm on my way to the 315. So, but no, this is just another slap in the face to Oregon. So fuck you, Oregon. Sorry.
So I can guess you could say Blackie Chan is hype. I don't know if it's the pre-workout or the news, but
The pre-workout,
all the
the
above.
fact that I hit a new PB or whatever. So yeah.
Cool, man. Good, man. Glad to hear that, man. Glad to see you putting in work.
Yeah. But do we know any word behind like anyone that's coming behind him when it comes to like flipping?
Oh, we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't
no.
know. We don't know names. Does sound like it's going to be a big weekend. There's going to be some more. That's what Tom Loy has hinted at. I don't know the exact names, but I
Any
mean,
guesses?
from Scott's article, he's mentioned Redodo from
Deshaun
Oaks
Rideau?
Christian. Yeah, thank you, from Oaks Christian. Trent Mosley, he's mentioned him, also a California kid wide receiver. He did mention Bobby Feaster, Jalen Lott, Texas wide receiver. So he's just kind of mentioning a lot of the names that we've talked about. But I do think we're gonna definitely get some more this weekend. So
Do you think he shuts it down, or has he said if he's shutting it down?
I haven't personally seen anything. I do think he's gonna take his other visits still at LSU from LSU and stuff. We'll see. I mean, unless he has said it and I just haven't seen it, I do think he'll still do the do his thing. So
How do you feel about that, Raul?
About what?
About him still taking his official visits?
Who? Jonas Williams?
Yeah.
Not a fan of it, as you guys know, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't think he'll flip again. So good for him for taking those free
Those
visits.
still vacations.
Yeah, I mean he's earned it.
Wait,
right?
does he still have an official visit to Oregon?
I don't think. I think Oregon's long gone. Definitely. Like if I don't see that happening. But
I hope they lose out on Jared Curtis too. That will be hilarious.
I don't think they're the leader Oregon wise. I still think Georgia is probably one of the top.
Well, didn't he decommit from Georgia though? He
did decommit. But it just seems like that relationship's still there. So maybe he felt like maybe felt like he was just so early. He's like, okay, let me take a step back and just kind of reevaluate.
See, the thing about Jonas committing right now, I don't think it's like the too early for him to commit, because at this point he can be that leader. As long as he's out there trying to recruit for us, I'm fine with that. But the thing about Juju, he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't doing anything. He was just doing his own thing, enjoying life. But when you're a high profile quarterback, people are following what you're doing and people want to play with you, so you got to recruit them. But if you're going radio silent and you're not giving anyone any kind of like reassurance that you're still committed, or that you want them to come there, then you're not being the leader of a class, and that's why Lincoln Riley dropped his ass.
No.
It's funny that you said that, because I think Raul read this quote already, but Jonas has a quote on Tom Lloyd's post that says, I chose USC because of the culture, the relationships that I built, and the playing style of the offense. This class is going to be very special.
Yeah.
That line right there. This class is going to be very special.
We're pushing for. I wonder if this pushes us to number one.
It does, right? Is that what you said, Raul?
And Rivals, it does.
Rivals, it pushes us to number one. Okay.
Yeah, this one for 247 puts us at 2. We were at 3, and we're only about 4 points away from the number 1 spot. So, I mean, you get one more commitment, we're the number 1 spot basically.
Yeah, if we can get Vance Spafford.
Yeah, the war room was interesting about Vance. It just seemed like he's being very
distant.
Yeah, just doesn't seem like. I don't know. That one's very interesting from the war room said. So I think we're still going to keep trying, obviously, and hopefully he takes a step back and does his thing. So
Sorry, man. B-Lock is on the case, man. We good.
Yeah.
We worked through.
yeah,
Plus,
Lockhart,
I mean,
he's our inside guy.
from what they were saying previously too, that I didn't see it as a bad thing, because didn't they say about Spafford that regardless he was going to take his time, that it
Yeah.
looked good for USC, that they're in a good spot, but he was going to take his time to commit, which is the right way of doing it, especially if make sure that you're fully committed to that school. So I'll
Has he
say
said
this,
an official visit yet?
with
I'm not
Spence.
sure with Spafford. Yeah,
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Spafford
I haven't
USC.
seen anything about him with an official yet.
but I wouldn't doubt it though. I'm pretty sure from what I remember reading, they were saying that we're in a good spot and he was going to take his time. So
Yeah.
that's the right way of doing it, especially for those position groups.
Yeah,
Like I said, for me, like I've told you guys, the only one position that I feel confident that it'll stick is the
Quarterback.
QB spot. Yeah. Other than that, whenever players usually commit early, for some reason at least I feel like a lot of the times they end up elsewhere.
yeah. I wonder. Or go ahead, B Jones.
No, go ahead and get your last one up, because I was probably going to change the topic a little bit.
Oh, I just wonder what is going through Ryder Lyon's head right now, because I read somewhere that he was kind of caught off guard that we were still going after a 2026 quarterback, but it's like, what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, he's not committed, so what do you expect? Like
Yeah,
you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's not
we're not
committed.
going to what is it called? Be loyal until you decide to commit to us.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much almost bit us in the butt, right? Last season or last
Exactly.
year. So
Yeah.
So
it's good to see the staff and Lincoln are changing their ways on how they recruit the quarterback position. But like I said earlier before you got on, Black and Shannon, if he really just takes a step back and understands, hey, I'm a 27 kid. I won't even be on campus until 27. I mean, we still have a shot. So we have his
One more
brother,
thing.
right? We got his brother. We got his teammate.
exactly.
We might get Vlad D. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And plus, he's really
One more thing before you move. One more thing before we move on from Jonas. How big of a factor do you think Chad Bowden was in this?
is a huge factor.
Big
He
time.
said it himself. We quoted him.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't visited us before, right? And then Chad came on. We did the big junior day, and he shows up. So, yeah, Chad's definitely a factor in everything.
All right. We got B Jenkins in the house, man, joining us. What's up, B Jenkins? Talk to us.
How's it going, B?
I'm going to
What's
hop
good,
off real
fellas?
quick and I'll be back. Okay.
Sounds good.
What's good, fellas? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great, man. All cheers, all smiles over here, man.
Don't go,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So I looked at my phone, and I saw I get different updates. And of course, I'm subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the content you guys give, but I didn't know this. I wasn't aware of it. So what did he flip earlier today, or what happened?
Yeah, it's been rumored for a few days now.
Okay.
Around, but it made it official today. Maybe less than an hour ago, maybe that they made it official.
Something like that.
Yep.
It just shows the commitment to winning that the administration has finally come around to. Is what the fans and alumni have been wanting for the longest. But it had to start in the front office. If you look at all of the programs that's been winning that is since the playoffs started, their front office, they got the recruiters in place, they got the scouts in place, they got here recently the GMs. Everybody was pretty much ahead of the curve. I think it's great that we finally came around, but it may have been more of okay. Let us see what everybody else has. Let us see, their hands being shown, and then we're going to come out in full force, because this just came out of nowhere. for us to really show up that administrative part. I think that was the key piece. Them bringing over GM, and it's like everything else fell into place. Now we're even looking at possibly getting a top 3 recruiting class. So it shows the fan base that the administration is finally serious about competing and winning.
Right.
About competing and winning. Yeah.
Yep. I was just gonna mention this from that same quote that I read to you guys earlier. The first line. I chose USC because of the culture.
Right.
Now we heard, outsiders, people who, casuals when it comes to us, who don't really follow USC, but they love to talk crap about us. Mention our culture is bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between us and Oregon is the culture. So hear that, give me your thoughts.
Well, see, that's just the thing, and we can go all the way back to 2010 when the sanctions first hit, because that's when a lot of the kids started leaving. And I can remember DeAnthony Thomas. That name comes to mind, and it was right around the time I think Kiffin took over, and he got out of California and went to Oregon. That's when it really started, and then over the years, we just didn't show a commitment to winning from selecting a coach to selecting the AD. They didn't show that commitment to winning. It was almost like we were taking a lot of those Cali kids for granted, just because we're USC and we had a history with Pete, going to the different, New Year's Day Bowl, playing in the different, national championship games. I think we were playing like for 3 in a row when we lost to Texas. But it's like they took them for granted. So that luster kind of wore off, especially after Pete left. So their commitment to keeping the Cali kids home was the first thing that I think that they showed the commitment to with winning, and the next was to show up that front office. But Oregon hadn't won anything. Let's just be honest. They won some some conference titles or whatever. But when SC left the Pac-12, it showed that who was still the flagship out west.
Yep.
When SC decided to leave, because if we're being honest, if we're being transparent, we didn't need UCLA to tag along. That was totally like put a monopoly on the LA market, but SC could have stood alone by itself going to the Big 12. Yep. It just gave us one more, not the Big 12, I'm sorry, the Big 10. I apologize. It gave us one more home game because it's a rivalry game, but they really didn't need UCLA. But for SC to leave and for it to completely collapse, that shows you who's still the flagship program out west. And it's not Oregon. They may think so because they got field night money, they got a bunch of uniforms, they got an open checkbook. But if they were really the program that they thought they were, they could have held the Pac-12 down by themselves, and they showed that they couldn't.
Exactly, 100%. They brought no glory to the Pac-12.
Right.
I mean, if you listen to them,
the thing about that, B. Jones, is they brought no credibility to the Pac-12. How do you bring credibility by winning natties? They got one Heisman Trophy winner. That's who, Mariota,
yep.
And no national championships. It's you want to know what's ironic? The last time the Pac-12 won a championship is when SC won it. With all of those things that happened, those negative things that happened with SC, them losing 30 scholarships, them getting banned for us getting banned for 2 years. No one has won a national championship since SC won it back in 2004. That shows you right there who's truly the flagship program out west. Exactly. And then we build up, I don't know how this thing is going to shape up with the conferences. From what I understand, they're going to make one super conference, this allegedly that the Big Ten and the SEC supposed to be forming, like Voltron or something. I'm telling my age right now. Like Voltron or something. And making this one super conference. I don't know how that's going to shape up, but all we need to do is get back to winning, for the next couple of years, and to where we knock the dust off of the program and get back up into our rightful place, which is, one of the top 5 programs in college football, period. Then LA would sell itself. USC would sell itself.
Yep, and just to add to your stuff, Brian, Oregon didn't really take advantage of all that. I mean,
They didn't.
they didn't do anything other than, like you said, the few little accolades that accomplished, but they didn't really do anything like that. And USC has been, like, obviously been in a bad spot because of all those sanctions and just bad hires. But we're still a premium program. And now we actually have the staff and the personnel and then just the whole administration ready to put USC back where it belongs. And after that, Oregon could say goodbye to whatever little momentum they
stranglehold, right? Stranglehold they had on Southern California. Look at all of the talent that has helped these other programs out of California itself. That has helped these other programs win national championships over the last 8 to 10 years. When you go back and you look, go ahead.
No, and I was just saying, and if you add one more thing to say that NIL doesn't get regulated, Oregon will be in a really bad spot because that Phil Knight money.
Oh, if they regulate NIL, it'll be over for Oregon because it will level the playing field. It's a few programs out there that got open. I'm talking about just open checkbooks right now, to where they go in, they see a kid have a good game, then next thing you know, he's jumping in portal, and we call it poaching, but that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about Oregon. Nobody from the Pac-12 took advantage of USC being down. I think USC's only problem, like I said before, they took a lot of those Cali kids for granted. Hey, look, because of our rich history, they're going to come to SC regardless. But once they got a taste of other programs, other programs showed that those Cali kids, that they were top priority, they started to really leave in droves. Again, if you look at the programs, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, look at the number of California kids they got on those rosters. In prime positions, the quarterback, the running back. It was, they've been bleeding Cali dry for the longest.
100% right. Let's get Kristen in here too, man. I want to hear his thoughts.
But Kristen,
what's going on, fellas?
Feeling great, Kristen. It's Friday.
Exactly.
Man, who you telling? Flips from Oregon? Ain't no better day, right? Other than winning the national championship.
Right. That's how we start the weekend, right?
Man,
it's gonna be a great weekend. So apparently, there's more to come.
Oh man,
I just wanted to note real quick. Walter Clark mentioned that not only does Rivals have at number one, but you mentioned that. I'm sorry, here it is. Williams said that he is shutting it down. So I know we mentioned it earlier that he might still be going on visits, but Walter says he's shutting it down. I haven't confirmed anything. I don't know where that's coming from, but I'm hoping you're right, Walter. Hope he does shut it down, but we're gonna take your word for it for now. So what are your thoughts, man?
Man, I'm loving it. The stuff I see of the kid, I'm not gonna call him the next Kevin Williams because I don't think nobody's under much pressure. But he Caleb S, if we can put it like that. You know what I'm saying? We want the kid to develop to be who he is and be his own quarterback. What I can say is he fits the mode of the Caleb Williams, the Jalen Hurts, and the Kyler Murray with the playmaking ability and the arm and things like that. So we definitely know what those quarterbacks with those attributes can do in the Riley system. But I think more importantly, it shows the world that Riley hasn't lost it with being able to get top quarterbacks, right? Moss wasn't his quarterback. He inherited Moss. He inherited Mob as well. But as far as quarterbacks that he go out and get himself, I mean, he still can win them. So this is a big flip.
Right.
And I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned with the like at this point, we can't be how we was last year, right? So I love that they trying to get two quarterbacks in 2026. If we lose Lions on this, we lose them, but you can't let grade A talent slip through in hopes of getting somebody else and they still out flirting with everybody else, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and I've been a little weary of Lions on for the simple fact that I know BYU was after him heavily. And after I seen that NIL deal they gave their basketball player, I'm like, man, BYU got some money to give, but they just swoop through at any moment, And he's Mormon. That's a Mormon school as well. I'm just like, so I was a little weary of him. So I'm glad that we stuck to it, and Riley didn't just hold off like we did with the Juju situation.
Well, the thing about that with the whole Juju situation was he was Riley's guy for the longest, but he was more so, flirting with and entertaining other schools. As a matter of fact, I was on, I think it was may have been Jay's live or either Carter's live, and I noted that he had been to Boulder more times than he had been to LA, even though he was committed to Riley. So Riley can't get caught in a situation like that because had Longstreet not had an affinity for SC and wanted to go to SC for a long time,
We'd be in
and,
trouble.
and, and the Kelly kid, we'd be in trouble right now.
Absolutely.
So he can't, and Riley with his track record, he shouldn't be in a position to where he's, pretty much begging these kids, a quarterback, not kids, but a quarterback to come to, where he is anyway with the track record he has. Any kid that top quarterback that is not considering coming to SC will have to be, out of their mind. The guy has what, 3 Heisman Trophy winners, 3 number one overall picks, four quarterbacks in the league right now. All 4 of them starting, and one of them just won a Super Bowl. What more proof do you need? Would any top quarterback need that says that has Lincoln Riley marked as, hey, look, this is my guy. So I'm happy he got Williams. He does remind you of Caleb, but I don't want to, like Kristen said, I don't want to put that type of weight on his shoulders because that would be unfair to that kid, especially a kid that has another year of high school to go. So I'm glad he's taking this approach. We're not waiting around on no one quarterback to commit to us. The only thing we need to do now is just show the product on the field. Once we show the product on the field, trust me, these Cali kids won't be thinking about going anywhere else except for SC.
And another thing we can say too, and Raul, it's not you or is it Black? I can't, but I know. I think we got to give Riley some just due too because I know a lot of times people have issues. They say my problem with Riley that it takes him a little longer to figure it out. I mean, because we know Riley he didn't take a quarterback, but every 2 years, which made sense in the past makeup of college football. But now with NIL, you're gonna have to take a quarterback every year because kids are not staying around, right? It's something like 60% of your top quarterbacks end up transferring school before they even play, like within the next year, all right? So I'm glad to see that what we went through last year that Riley flipped his script and he did it quickly. But it didn't take 2 or 3 years for him to get on that, and that he attacking 2 quarterbacks in 26, and that he's not staying with that. I'm gonna take a quarterback every 2 years. Back in the day, you can do that because you will have a quarterback in waiting, but now you're gonna have to take one every year because like I said, 60% of your top quarterbacks that's coming out of high school are transferring school within a year, and that's just crazy.
So I was muted. No, I agree with you 100%, Chris. Like, I definitely think so give me your thoughts on who y'all think is next? Who y'all think will be the next, or who would y'all want to be next?
As far as what?
Commitment from this class.
Commitment?
I want
Are
Ryder
you gonna
Lyons.
say?
I want Ryder
Are you gonna?
Lyons. So
I
so
didn't cut you, bro.
I want Ryder Lyons just so Riley could flex and say, yeah, we got Williams and we got Lyons. So it would be
So I
nice
guess
to
B.
get
Joe,
Lyons.
my question is: are you talking about people that have visited that we know where it talks to, or anybody that we can flip that we want?
Well, let's do both. Since who's out there that if we had a wish list, who would you? We can have it our way.
Well, as far as people that got us in their top list of teams and that's visited, Chris Henry Jr., the wide receiver, someone that I don't think has visited or we're in talks with, be that that wide receiver that's going to Oregon, the number one wide receiver.
The one that played in the Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah, the
right?
one that played with Longstreet. Yeah, look it up.
That kid's serious, man. That kid's
Yeah,
serious.
that'd be that. So out of the people I know that got us on their list, and he's coming back to visit Henry. But if it's a wish list that someone we are not I guess in talks to and committed somewhere else, it'd definitely be that wide receiver
I would
there,
have
the number one wide receiver going to Oregon.
I would have to say Chris Henry. If you look back throughout our history, we've been the times we were really successful. We had that big receiver on the outside. So for one thing, it's going to cause he's going to cause the defense to have eyes on him, and more than likely they won't have to shade a safety over to his side, which will open up, more so open up the running game more so than anything. So I like that big receiver. We have one right now in Jacoby Lane. I think he's going to be a real problem, providing he can stay healthy, and stay on the right track. His junior year, this is going to be a real big year for him. I really wish that this past season when we were in the red zone that they had him in the game or gone to him more. That kid could have easily had 18, 19 touchdowns. But, that's all of that's water under the bridge now. But I would have to say a kid like Chris Henry, that's a game changer.
For sure.
What do you want, guys?
Can we fantasize a minute and say if we got that big body receiver and Chris Henry, and we also flip the wide receiver that's going to Oregon with all that speed? Oh my God!
More.
Yeah. Oh
man.
man, what a duo that would be.
Yeah, he needs to make a football decision, man. And come on, where he know he's gonna have a quarterback.
Right.
Yo, Gun, since you are a recruiting guy here in the channel, who do you want?
For wide receiver?
Or just in general, who else would you want? Flip or wide receiver, whoever you think.
I mean, Tom. I want Tom. I mean, if we're talking just in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Come to SC. Don't gotta leave home. Yeah. That'd be my name.
He's an Oregon commit right now, right?
He is currently.
Yeah, we need to make that flip happen as well. Tom, come on, stay home, man.
Yeah.
What is Tom? Is he a lineman or something like that?
D-line, I think.
D-line?
D-line,
okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than him, I mean, not to keep it local, but Dixon Wyatt, Caden, I would like him. Chris Henry, I mean, that'd be great. I think that's somebody I caught my eye back in 2020, when we were 2 years from this class. So I mean, yeah, those three would probably be some big time gets.
I mean, they're all in California now. So, I mean, Chris Henry, Dixon Wyatt, and then Spafford. If we can get those three to commit to us.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, that's the plan, man. That's the plan. We're definitely working on that. I know B. Lockhart mentioned that he's working on it. Raul, we might have to pull up to a couple games ourselves, man.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, like I said, I want Lions just so Lincoln Riley could just put the college world on notice and flex. Say, yeah, we just got Williams and we got Lions.
The only bad thing to that was getting both of them. You don't know whether one kid is going to have a big ego. They have two, 5 stars in the quarterback room nowadays. It's kind of like having oil and water. One of them is bound to leave, especially if you came from a program where you were the man. I understand that you go into a bigger stage, but both of those kids have are really talented. You could tell that they really work on their craft.
Mm-hmm.
With one of them, if one of his name is started, is the other one going to be willing to wait? Because you got to remember, we got Longstreet in front of the both of them, right?
Exactly.
So even if Lions were to sit out and take his mission, which a lot of people are expecting him to do and come to 2027, you still got those two battling it out. And it was a similar situation that Riley had at Oklahoma with Rattler and with Caleb. The difference is once Caleb took reins of that game in that Texas in that Red River rivalry, he never let go of it. And what happened as a result, Rattler ended up leaving, right? Or is that the same time that Riley left and came to SC, right? Somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Rattler ended up leaving, and Lincoln them had 1 year. Him and Caleb had 1 year in Oklahoma.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Rattler was 2 years ahead of Caleb, so he was two
Right.
classes ahead. Yeah,
Right.
Riley used to take a quarterback every 2 years.
Was he 1 year or 2 years ahead?
He was 2 years ahead of him.
2 years ahead of Caleb?
Was it 2?
The
I thought
only
he was just
reason,
one. I thought he was just 1 year ahead.
Yeah, 1
I
year.
think he was two, I think it was 2 years, and the reason that Rattler was there so long is because he got a COVID year.
Okay, I got you. But
He got that extra year in South Carolina for his COVID year.
yeah, but either way, you still, even either way, both of them still gonna have to come in and compete with Longstreet, and Longstreet is not a slouch. So that's the only bad part. And like you were saying earlier, Christian, in this day and age with NIL, all it take is for somebody to hit him up on social media and let him know he got a bag waiting somewhere else, and the kid gone.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, sure, you want to make the offer, but if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Just work with what you have. The main thing is to make sure that you get at least one of them in the class and not be left holding the bag like we could have been this past recruiting cycle.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys touched on and unfortunately I'm upset. I mean, not at USC because I understand it, not at Nebraska. Even the SEC schools are starting to announce it. They're not having a spring game due to the tampering. They don't want people to see their younger talent. Have you guys touched on that already?
No, we haven't touched on it, but I mean, honestly, I'm not too upset about it. I understand the reasoning behind it, and it ain't like we actually turned out for it anyway, man. Our numbers weren't the best,
Well, they weren't the best. You're right, B. Jones. They weren't the best, but it gave the fans an opportunity to come out and see what was, what they could potentially see come the fall. The problem is, you're correct, Christian. A lot of the schools, a lot of other programs were watching those spring games and pretty much evaluating talent from that live spring game. And then the next thing you know, the kid jumping in the portal. If the receiver had a good game, if a running back had a good game, if a quarterback or a linebacker had a good game, they were pretty much, gone for a bigger bag. So I think it's a double-edged sword, is what it is. It's a double-edged sword because. Yeah, go ahead.
And the reason I'm saying I'm upset, I'm not upset at USC. I'm just upset as a football fan because I got to wait all the way to August to see some college football.
Right.
The only teams that's probably going to even continue with their spring game are going to be some schools that's not the major schools, because all the major schools and the ones that are normally get the TV time for their spring game are canceling their game. So, and I was looking forward to seeing our defensive line, especially the transfer players. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the quarterback situation, the quarterback play. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see how that's going and see if improvement and see what we see. But unfortunately, we won't get that. But from my understanding, they're still going to have a spring game, but it's closed only to like parents and other recruits that they're trying to get in.
But here's the thing, though, B. Jones, they could fix that easily. All they got to do is fix the portal. Fix the portal.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you can jump into the portal, but whatever program you transfer to, you have to sit out a season. And if you transfer in conference, you have to sit out. Well, I wouldn't say 2 seasons. That's not fair to the kid. But yeah, you will have to sit out a season. So you could transfer.
Here's the issue. The NCAA just don't have any power, though. Like, anytime they go to court, they're going to lose, right? And then another thing is the portal is kind of a figment of we've been honed, right? If you look at the kid from Wisconsin, that's going to Miami, they found the loophole the portal really don't exist. All you got to do is unenroll from the school and roll in another one, and you're eligible to play.
Yeah, so that just happened though recently, this past season. Beforehand, that loophole, even though it may have been there, it wasn't utilized.
Right, but it's been utilized.
I'm just going to withdraw. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. The NCAA, anytime they go to court, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the athletic programs can come to an agreement.
Yeah, they can do that.
It doesn't have to be the NCAA. The athletic programs could come to an agreement. Hey, look, if a kid wants to leave and go to another program, we're all coming to this agreement that, hey, look, that kid will have to sit out a season. And that would stop a lot of that. If they have a majority vote, that would stop a lot of that. So what they're going to have to do is form their own organization that's separate, just pretty much just separate from the NCAA because right now they're worthless.
And I
And like
think
you're right, they have no power. Just
they
separate
have
from
no
them.
power.
And yeah, they have no power. So just separate from them.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be tough to get every school to say we're gonna go with that because you're gonna have that one school that's gonna be like, "No, we ain't gonna do it," and then they're gonna start getting all the recruits because they're gonna be like, "Oh, you can come here and leave whenever you want. We don't have that rule. It's gonna always be somebody that want to stand out. So it's gonna be tough
Well,
to do, but
again,
something
okay.
definitely
Well,
needs to be done.
those that don't want to commit to what the majority is doing, fine. You left out of the playoff. You're not a part of this playoff picture. And when we get ready to have these major bowl games, these playoff games, you're not invited. I don't care if you go 15, 34 and 0. Period.
But yeah,
So that can be
something definitely needs
fixed.
to be done
That can
about
be
the portal.
fixed. Yeah, that can be fixed.
Right. All right. Hate to switch up the topic, fellas, but we do have to note the women's basketball team, man. They doing what they've been doing all year, man. They're killing, man. Shout out to K Don. Shout out to Raya, raising the
Right.
money.
And
For,
Juju we trust.
so what was that?
What's that freshman? What's that freshman's name? What's her last name? Smith? Is that her last name?
With Kennedy? Yeah, Kennedy Smith.
Yeah, Kennedy Smith.
Kennedy. I
Yeah,
like her. I like that
yeah,
freshman.
Yeah,
her defense is elite.
exactly.
Man, if Juju is not the player of the year, I don't know what they're looking at. Like it should be shut seal and delivered already.
I like the other player. What's her name? Irrifan. Is that the one that came from Stafford?
Yeah,
Kiki Irrifan. Yeah.
isn't it?
hmm
She's seen
Kiki, yeah,
working up last week, man. Shout out to Kiki.
yeah.
Listen, man, they can really make a real run at this tournament, man.
I mean, if you look at it, I don't lost count of how many top 10, top 15, top 20 teams they don't beat this year.
Right.
It seems like every week they playing somebody like a top team and beat them. Like the Big Ten for women's basketball is just pretty tough. I mean, they knocked off UConn when they was number 4, knocked off UCLA when they was number 1. I mean,
Right.
they have knocked off I think 5 or 6 top 10 teams this year. Like it's crazy.
They beat a top 25 team the other night in Michigan State.
Right.
Yeah.
So they beat Michigan State. Now that game they played on the road at Washington, that one kind of worried me. The refs, the officials allowed Washington to be really physical with them. And at one point they were down 12 in the second half. So they did find a way to pull it out. Juju didn't have the best shooting night that night. I think, because in the UCLA game, she really went off. But in that game, she kind of struggled. I don't know whether or not it was the physicality that the officials allowed Washington to play with. But they got another tough game coming up here this weekend against Illinois at home. Well, is it on the road? No, it's at home. It's at home. They got another tough game at home against Illinois coming up. I think it's Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, the
It's Sunday.
senior
correct,
night
yep.
Sunday.
Right. So that's
Go ahead, B. What you saying?
yeah. So Illinois, and I think the last game will be against UCLA. Now, I think definitely they could win that game against UCLA, even though it's going to be at UCLA. From what I understand, I don't know if their center still hurt. Betts, I saw her in a walking boot.
She's not back. Yeah, that's right. She did hurt it or something.
Yeah, I saw her in the walking boot. So I don't know, what that's going to be like. But I think they got a good chance to finish with a top 1 seed. Right now, they're projected to be a number 2 seed, and they got them projected to be on the same side of the bracket as UCLA. That I don't want.
Yeah, we
That
don't
I
need
don't want.
that, man. That's
Right.
I mean,
So
we had
yeah.
and this team is battle tested because they was a number 1 seed last year and they had a deep run. You know what I'm saying? I think we had lost in the Elite 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the lead 8.
yeah. But
It's a
back
league
to that Michigan State game, man. Some things that we got to point out from that game, man.
Uh-huh.
There was some blood left in the water, man. If you know what I'm saying. They started trapping, and we had no clue what to do, man. And they got
Yeah, they ran a 2-3, and I think a lot of other teams are going to follow suit. They ran a 2-3 and trapped Juju at the top and pretty much forced the ball out of their hands. out of her hands. Now the problem came in B Jones is when they forced the ball out of her hands, she would hit the guard on the wing and they would not shoot. They would drive instead. I don't know why all of a sudden they decided to stop shooting the ball. But in a situation like that, you got to make those teams pay. Even if
Yeah,
you
you got to
go,
shoot them out. You
over
got to shoot them
5.
out the zone. You got to shoot them
Even
out
if
the
you
zone.
well, what happened was this, Christian. They trapped Juju at the top, but they packed in the bottom 3 to keep anybody from attacking the rim. And they were just forcing it because they had big girls down there protecting that rim, and we were just forcing it in there with smaller girls. You understand what I'm
So I'm
saying?
saying you got to shoot them out of it.
Yeah,
You start shooting
right.
them threes, making them threes. They'll get out that zone real quick.
Either
Or
you're
if
gonna shoot them
you,
out, or you're gonna push the rock, man, so they can't set up in that zone. And that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
feel
but
like
yeah.
Kaylee Heckle needs to be on that floor, man. She's the best
Hmm.
ball handler in those situations.
Hmm.
And I don't
Hmm.
understand why she keeps taking out a rotation in those situations, man. I've said it a few times. Her defense and her ability to push the rock is exactly what you need, man. Coming down the stretch in that fourth quarter.
But even with that though, B Jones, if they don't feel comfortable with shooting the rock from beyond from the 3-point line, the free throw line was open all night long. All the bigs had to do was fast to the free throw line and turn around and shoot the free throw.
Right.
It
That's
was
Kiki.
wide open all night.
Right. Kiki's good for that one right there. Every 15
Right,
is
right. So I don't. It was kind of a miss. I don't. It was kind of like weird, for them to be passing up open shots like that just to drive inside, overpass and turn the ball over. I didn't get that.
I think what it is, man, they just get too caught up in running everything through Juju that they forget that they play basketball too.
Hmm.
Sometimes, they get stuck watching Juju's greatness, and it's like that
Right.
when you play players, we see it all the
Well,
time.
well, they did it last season, and Juju just kind of took college basketball by storm. The only problem was that they had a bigger battle, a bigger stage set with Reese and Caitlin Clark. That's the only 2 players that overshadowed Juju last year. That two-person dynamic.
Right.
Other than that, Juju would have been a big story in women's basketball last season, especially after she went for 51 against Stanford.
Yep.
That was that's a whole totally different monster, man. But you're correct, B Jones. They can't depend on Juju to do everything because when you do that, you start standing around watching.
Mhm.
And Juju is going to do what Juju was taught to do: attack and kill.
Right. And she's not a selfish player. She's gonna give it the rock when she see the open pitch. She's gonna make a smart basketball play.
Right.
So, but yeah, they get caught, kind of just watching and being stagnant, not moving, not cutting.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, they kind of got exposed a little bit, man. So Lindsay got to clean that up this
Yeah,
week.
if you go back and look at that Washington game, Washington did the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
They did the same thing too. So that's the blueprint to at least keeping it close. That's the blueprint to keeping it close. Run that 2-3 and trap Juju when she get the ball, no matter what they are on the floor, to trap her out on the perimeter.
Right. Right. All right. So we're not going to take too much of you guys' time, man. That is all we have to. We just want to tap in with you guys, give you the news, and give you our reaction to the news.
Mhm.
If you have not checked out our last interview with Brandon Lockhart, you're doing yourself a disservice, man. So make sure you guys check that out. Also, our interview with Dr. Marion Jackson, that's the mother of Brian Jackson. If you have not seen that, you definitely need to check that out, man. Don't forget to check out other channels here in our Trojan Family content creators, man. We have USCJ who just put out a video on Jonas Williams. If you need a little more information on him, and I'm sure others will be putting out videos as well. If you're not signed up, if you're not a member of the Cal Southern Centaurs, man, go ahead and join our memberships. We just beat up on who we beat up on last game. Guns, who was that? Guns, you with us?
Sorry, say it one more time. I was looking at something. Apologies.
Who did we just beat up on, man? The Centaurs.
Oh yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, we got South Carolina, and then also regarding NCAA, we're looking into playing Brandon Lockhart, our USC commit, sometime in the near future. So Just keep a watch out for that. We'll keep you guys posted, and looking forward to that matchup.
That's gonna be live, right?
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah,
be
that'll
live.
be on our Twitch channel. Yep. So that'll be all live, so everyone can come in and check it out.
So put your bets in now, man. Who y'all got? Y'all got guns or y'all got B-Lock, man?
Hey, John is
some
very
friendly
confident,
wagers.
so it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yo, Brian, you play any video games?
Nah, my man, I haven't played any video games since undergrad. So nah. I think I watched part of it. I think that last game y'all played was against Georgia State, wasn't it?
I think that was
Was
the last
that what
one.
you talking about?
Was that the last one?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
No,
I remember.
I was going before, but yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, man, become a member, get on the squad, man. Have your name on there as well. After you become a member, hit me in my inbox on X. Let me know what position, number, all that good stuff, and we'll get you in there. That's going to do it for us. Anybody have any last remarks, words?
I appreciate you guys for having me on, my man. Fight on.
Appreciate you.
We
joining,
definitely
and,
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share, and everybody who joined us. Appreciate you guys, Brian, Christian. Appreciate you guys joining the live.
Absolutely. All right. So with all that being said, all hearts and minds are clear. We're gonna get out of here. Fight on.
Right on.
Fight on.
Fight on.